The interview is being conducted for the Veterans History Project of the Library of Congress. The veteran's name is Don Patterson. They were born on August 3rd, 1947. They served in the Marine Corps. They were part of the Vietnam War, and they achieved Sergeant E5 rank. This is recorded on November 1st, 2015. I'm Lisa, and I'm conducting the interview, and I have no relations. All right, so where were you born exactly?
Greenville.
Okay. And what were your parents' occupations?
Well, my daddy was a builder. My mother was home. She was a housemaker for a long time. Then she was in retail.
Any siblings?
Well, I got 3 brothers.
Were they also in the military?
2 of them were, and one of them was not.
Okay.
Colorblind.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what were you doing before you entered the service?
I was working in a cotton mill.
Okay. How'd you like it there?
In the cotton mill?
Yeah.
It was good. I enjoyed the cotton mill when sometimes I didn't. It was hot and sweaty and a little dirty, but it was a good job.
Okay. And when did you enter the service?
1966.
Okay. What were your reasons for choosing the Marine Corps?
I just liked it.
Yeah? Okay. What was it like before you actually went off and did the training and stuff like that?
At home? Always, just work every day. Come home, go back to work. Come home, go back to work. That type of thing. And then we were in the middle of Vietnam, and it was time to do something.
Okay.
So.
And did you have any like specialized training or anything before you went?
No.
No? Okay. And how was it to adapt to the military life?
Easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very easy to adapt to it. Just do what you're supposed to do.
So where exactly did you serve in Vietnam?
I served in Chu Lai for 2 months. 3 months actually. I served in Da Nang for 2 months. I served in Bien Chau for the rest of the time there, for the rest of 13 months. Was that 7 months, 6 or 7 months? Yeah.
Okay. Were you in the front line at any time?
Well, there's not a front line in Vietnam. I was a cook for 3rd Amtrak's.
Okay.
And we were always on the front line. We were out and in, and we'd be, had little firefights every once in a while. But then when Ben Chai went with the Civic Action Company, and I, along with 7 others, we were a squad. We lived in a village with the Vietnamese, and we taught them the village defense, hygiene of all things, just different military tactics to protect their village and help them with those type of things. We worked with the popular forces of Vietnam.
And were they thankful that you guys did that?
Most of them were. The villagers were, because they were a friendly village, so they had to be barbed wired in. It's very dangerous for them because the villages on each side of them were not friendly. They were Viet Cong villages. And so they didn't always get along real well. And so that's where we taught them defense and took care of them and those type of things.
Okay. Did you have any like friendships that you formed over there?
With the Vietnamese people? No.
No? It was just you and your squad then?
I was doing my duty. You start forming friendships, you start making bad decisions in some cases like that, and I just don't want to get into that.
Okay. How did you stay in touch with your family?
Letter, snail mail.
Did you get to write often?
Oh, you could write all you wanted to, yeah. But
Okay.
I didn't write. I'm not a big writer, so I didn't write a whole lot, but I wrote, once a week or so.
Okay. Did you want to tell us maybe a story about like combat that you were in or anything like that?
No, we were over. We worked with popular forces, like I said earlier, and so we would fight with this guy. We'd have a firefight. We'd be firefighting with this guy beside us today. Tomorrow we'd be shooting at him. He'd be shooting at us. I mean, there was no loyalty in the popular forces with some of those folks. They worked both sides, and it was interesting, to say the least. But we did have a Christmas tree one time they put up for us across the river, And we shot that thing with everything we had and never could knock that tree down. I don't know what they put it up with, but I ate it up with 60 caliber. I mean, I ate that thing up. We shot it with the grenade launchers, and it never would fall. So I don't know how they put it up, but it was there. The Econ put it up. It was fun. That was fun.
Now, do you know why they put up the Christmas tree?
No, it was getting close to Christmas, and they just, you know,
All right, then. Well, that's
just nice of
interesting.
them to put a tree up for us, and we didn't like their attitudes. We tried to take it down.
Okay, cool. That's kind of neat, actually. Let's see. What was some of the stuff that you did, like recreational or off-duty, while you were over there?
There really wasn't any. I didn't have any off duty.
Okay.
All of our off duty was confined to the area we lived in, basically. We'd walk through the village or something, you know, say hi, get to know some of the villagers, but didn't really have what you used to call off duty.
Okay.
There was nowhere to go, you know, like Saigon or anybody like any place like that.
Okay. Where were you when the war ended?
When the war ended,
Mm-hmm.
I was at home in Ringville.
Okay. And when you returned home, was it easy to adapt back to like a regular life, or?
Yeah, I adapt pretty easily. I come home on a stretcher.
Okay.
So I was in the hospital for 3 months, 2 months before I got.
And why were you in the hospital?
Well, we got overrun.
Mm-hmm.
I had 6 days left before I was supposed to fly out, and we were overrun.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 8 of us, 4 died and 4 survived.
Okay. And how did your like family and the community receive you when you came back home?
Good.
That's good. Do you still have contact with any of them that you were with?
No.
Mm-mm. How have the experiences that you've had in the war like affected your life today?
Well, I don't trust a lot of folks. You know, not much. I'm just glad to be here. I should be dead, and I know I should be dead, and I'm living. And I thank the Lord Jesus Christ for that, because I could have been gone several times, and but I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that I have an obligation to pay back to the community and to Christ through the community the best I can for letting me survive.
Mm-hmm. And how are you doing that currently?
Oh, here, American Legion. I used to work a lot with Red Cross. I work just different volunteer groups, work Honor Flight, just stuff that's giving back.
Okay. And were there any life lessons that you learned from the military?
Don't volunteer. You don't volunteer to do anything, especially when you want a truck driver. There's not a truck in the parking lot. That's usually a wheelbarrow. But if you volunteer for that, volunteer to be the driver and not the helper. But not, you know, really, I learned to get along with people. You have to learn. You got to get along, and you got to analyze the situation the best as you can. Don't wait till the last minute to analyze things. You got to do it as an ongoing thing. Because where we live, we always had to be watching and analyzing what's everybody doing, where they going, who's this guy, who's this gal. You know, when you realize that 7-year-olds drop grenades behind you and blow your legs off, you got to watch the 7-year-olds. You got to watch the 5-year-olds, and you got to watch the 95-year-olds. So you have no peace. There's no relaxation for that. So you have it's just something I learned to do. Watch people all the time. I watch people. I see some of the funniest stuff in life.
Okay. What kind of things did you cook while you were over there?
I cooked all kinds of stuff. You know, I was the officer's cook because I cooked things like they wanted, and we cooked, you know, bacon and eggs in a big mess hall. We had turkeys and steaks, and of course the enlisted guys was tube steak, like bologna and stuff. The other officers had real steak, and every Sunday afternoon, while I was in Da Nang, I'd go up and cook officer steaks. And it's fun. I mean, they'd line beer up along the wall and say, now this is my beer, goes on my steak, and you can have what's left over. So they didn't get much beer on the steak. But no beer. We have all kinds. Some bring out mixed drinks to pour on your steak, to all that kind of stuff. And not knowing it's not doing a whole lot of good. You gotta marinate that stuff. You can't just pour it on. But so I spent all Sunday afternoon cooking for officers at the Officers Club. And that was interesting. But they all liked me. We all got along good and got along well. And so I did a lot of the individual cooking for officers. It was something to be done on the grill.
Mm-hmm. Was it easy to like get the food for that and things like that for the officers?
Oh yeah, we always had. Well, where we were at, we always had supplies in, and we didn't have a hard time getting rations because we were in one spot. We weren't mobile.
Right.
So we were there, and we would always get supplies in like we needed and that type of stuff. So, you know, whatever they had on the order to cook, we had all that stuff usually.
Well, that's good.
Now, some of the places wasn't that fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Some of your out groups and some of your outposts, they had trouble getting a quality of food that they wanted, would like to have had.
Okay. And did you get any like care packages from your family or anything like that?
No, I didn't. Or did I? Let's see. Yeah, I did. It came. I got it. It was sent to me in Vietnam. I got it when I was in Charleston Hospital for Christmas. So it took about. Well, I was gone. I got it middle of January, so I was out of there 5 minutes. It took a long time to get to me.
Okay. Did you want to talk about when you were overrun or anything like that?
Well, nice. No big deal. We had I told you earlier that you'd be beside a guy today shooting with him. Mm-hmm. The next day you'd be shooting at him. Our village mayor and the commander of the Popular Forces went to our south gate and killed the 4 guards down there. 2 of them were asleep, 2 of them alive. They, you know, they're friendly. It's supposed to be okay, but they killed those 2 and opened the gate. Mm-hmm. And that's all it took. And they I don't know how many they sent in. They sent a ton in there, but it was so funny as we got hit and the shell hit right outside of our bunker. Mm-hmm. Was on top of the bunker, and so the guy beside me took all the blast, most of the blast, and so we come off top of that thing. I said, we gotta get off here. They got us zeroed in. We got off and we got in the river because I was in Mobile, he was in Mobile. He couldn't fire. Mm-hmm. Weapons were gone. All I had was a shotgun anyway. My weapons in repair. And the next round came in here right dead in the center of that thing. Woohoo! Close. Never found him. I think they may have found him later, but he died in the water. He got also hit by small arms fire also, but I was in the water all night long. So, but then I flew home. They got me out there and flew home.
All right, that's about 15 minutes. So we got 15 more minutes to talk about stuff.
Woohoo! But that's the way it was a lot of times. They had a lot of that go on, and where I know you've seen the movie Green Beret where the guy was stepping off. If you ever watched it, he was stepping off the distance. That happened. That stuff actually happened. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we didn't have much of that because we were just localized, one little village. We didn't show up. Mm-hmm. They had a lot of guys smoke marijuana, which was stupid. We listened to a radio broadcast one night. A guy got shot 5 times before he finally died. He said, "Ooh, I just got shot again." Ooh, just as normal as we're talking now. Mm-hmm. So you cannot tell me marijuana is good for you under any purposes. I mean, there's 8 guys died because of marijuana. Mm-hmm. They had no sense of what they were doing. And I had one guy get his leg, his arm blowed off, setting a claymore mind up, smoking marijuana. So you cannot tell me that stuff's good for anything but death and destruction. But never mind.
You're fine.
It ain't there. It ain't there. It's no good for you. Mm-hmm. But that's all I got to say. That's all I know. I don't have 15 minutes in me.
Oh, where did you get discharged at when you got out?
Charleston.
Okay.
I stayed in Charleston. I got out of the hospital. I was in the hospital. I got married in February. I wouldn't marry my wife before I went. So I married her when I came. I almost bought it 3 times over there, so I figured I wouldn't come back. So anyway, we got married in February, and I stayed down there another 2 years, almost 2 years. And so I cooked for the officers. You know, we had a small mess hall, a small garrison at the naval base, and so I did a lot of work with the officers and stuff, and so we had a good time. So I go to re-enlist. My colonel, we got retired colonels come down there. They were all retiring, so they all retired from there. He said, son, what does your wife think about this? I said, my wife wants to go back to Greer, South Carolina. I'm ready to go stay in the Marine Corps. He said, son, the Marine Corps is not worth a good marriage. Take her back home to Greer. I said, yes, sir. I said, okay. She was so happy to hear him that he said that. I don't know why. So we come back to Greer. So I left Charleston in 70.
Okay, and you said you had siblings who are also in the military?
I had a brother, my 2 older brothers were in the Navy, and they went up north to Great Lakes to train. And my oldest brother stayed in about 2 years. He was in 2 years. My next oldest brother, flatfoot or something, and they didn't keep him because he had some medical issue.
Okay. Were they stationed anywhere close to you, or
no, we were nowhere close to. They were out of military, out of service a long time before I got in.
Okay.
So I stayed longer than any of them did, which is just part of it. But they did pretty good though. You know, they're good kids. They come home from boot camp. My daddy come home one day from on the road. He walked up behind my mom, and he grabbed her behind and wrapped her around her. She did a hip toss, threw him on the couch. My oldest brother come back from boot camp, Navy boot camp. He tried the same thing. She threw him on the couch. My next brother come home from the Navy, and he tried the same thing. She threw him on the couch. I come home from Patterson, and I hooked my foot around hers, and she couldn't throw me. She told me I was a smart aleck. I knew what she was doing, but she raised 4 boys and raised 4 brothers. But she was tough. She could handle it. But the military was good to me. I don't have any real regrets being in the military.
Okay.
I'd recommend it for everybody.
I think I've asked all the questions on here. Let's see. Well, we still have about 10 minutes.
What do you want to say you drink for him?
I'm sorry?
No, I don't say you drink for him.
What was it like for the training or anything like that?
Well, boot camp, Patterson was great. I really loved Patterson. I mean, I had no problems. My oldest brother said, I want to give you one piece of advice. You keep one eye open, one ear open, and your mouth shut. And I said, that sounds like good advice from my older brother. And that's basically what I did. So I stayed out of the fracas of yelling and getting in trouble, because you do what they ask you to do. And, you know, they're there for 2 reasons. One, to train you, and train you right, make sure you're physically fit. And the other is to train you how to live, how to survive, and you need to be listening rather than talking. And so it was good. We had a good time. I enjoyed Patterson, really.
Okay.
You know, but we had a guy from New York, New York State Golden Gloves boxing champion.
Oh yeah?
We had a guy from Georgia with just a big mouth. I always carrying on. So they're doing a side straddle hop one day out there because they'd messed up. Well, the guy from New York that I got on him, the first time he got in trouble. And so the boy from Georgia taught him. The guy said, now be quiet. He didn't. He said, he come down. He said, time my hands went up over my head and come back down, he done hit me 3 times. And I decided I was going to be quiet from then on. So, you know, we had a guy go AWOL at Paris Island from upstairs, from one of the companies upstairs, and he made it across the lagoon. which is unreal. Snakes, poisonous snakes, alligators. And he made us cross the lagoon, called his daddy, said, "Daddy, I'm coming home." Daddy told him, said, "Son, I can't do anything for you till tomorrow. If you go to Western Union after 10 o'clock in the morning, because it's got to open, you can come home." He went to Western Union. He had all night long, went to Western Union the next morning, and the MPs was waiting on him. So Daddy called him, turned him in, brought him back, and, you know, had fun with him for a while. So, but it was great. Patterson was good, good experience. Camp Lejeune was a good experience. Advanced military training.
Was there maybe a memorable drill sergeant that you had?
Samaniago. He was Puerto Rican. He could not speak English.
Oh, wow.
He would say, "Forward, march, left, 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 left. You're out of step, left, left." He couldn't say right. And he was always out of step. He was always out of step with us. And we'd be in step, he'd be out of step, and he'd call us out of step because he couldn't say right. He never said right. And it was so funny. But he, you know, when it was all over said and done, we had one guy, Sergeant Williams, I think his name was, he said, "Now girls, I can run backwards 5 miles. You could just just run in sync. We're gonna run." So we had to, you know, everything had to be in sync. It sounded like one person all the time, but Samaniago was the guy. He couldn't speak hardly a word of English. He blessed his heart. Our drill sergeant cried when we left. He liked us too. Or it may have been he knew a lot of us wasn't coming home. We all were going to Vietnam. Everybody was going to Vietnam, so that was fun. I did put a grenade launcher. I did put the shell down the turret of the tank in training. That's pretty good. To let me carry the grenade launcher from then on, I never got to shoot again. It's a lucky shot. It's a lucky shot. But we did good.
6 months left.
We had a lot of training. We also trained at Camp Pendleton. We did more jungle training at Camp Pendleton. Camp Lejeune, we did more of the reading the compasses, reading maps, basic infantry training, advanced infantry, that type of thing. But Vietnam was a different war. It was not a whole lot different than Korea in some respects, but it was different that there was no lines, and it was all jungle. In Korea, you kind of had a line sometimes. They had a battle across it. We didn't have that. We went up to the DMZ and had to quit. They let us go past the DMZ. The war would last about a year. Then it'd been over with, but couldn't go up there. Might hurt somebody. And so, but Camp Lejeune was different because it's different scope of training that you had there about the war. But I cannot go back to San Diego.
Why not?
Well, I'm a wanted man in San Diego.
Can I ask what you did?
Well, yeah, because a friend of mine, we were in uniform, that's all we had was uniform. And we were walked across the street, like 6 or 7 lanes wide. I'd never seen a street that big before. We got about 3/4 way across and the light changed. Well, the policeman stopped us on the other side and gave us a ticket for running red light. Jaywalking, running red light. No way we could have made it across that street in that time anyway. So I never paid the ticket, so I'm a fugitive from San Diego. I still owe them that ticket up there. And I ain't going back out there, so I ain't gonna pay it. It's been 50 years, so. So I don't think they're after me yet.
Probably
That was
not.
so rude of him. But
How did you guys get transported from here to Vietnam?
commercial airlines,
Oh,
beautiful
boy.
stewardess. I'm thinking, they took us to Hawaii and wouldn't even let us off the plane. Went through Hawaii and couldn't get off the plane. But we had great crew going over though. They were very upbeat, which was good for us. They were very upbeat, very nice. And they all was very polite and told us goodbye and good luck and all that kind of stuff, because it was a dangerous, it was dangerous for the commercial airlines to land in Da Nang. They've had guys get off the plane, never make it to the bottom of the steps, snipers. So when they landed those planes, they would be shot at, taken off and landing and all kinds of stuff. So it wasn't really I guess, a very safe flight for them, but they made the flight anyway. But they were always nice. But I went over on the biggest plane they could carry then and come back on a C-140 through Alaska. I come back through Alaska, and I was in Charleston in '69. I got a call. I was going to be court-martialed, and I said, really? And I got over there, and the guy said, the colonel said, we have charges against you for failing to pay your bills in Alaska. We're going to garnish your wages. I said, in Alaska? I said, have you ever been in Alaska? I said, yes, sir. He said, when were you there? And I told him I was there in January of '68. I come in on a C-140 on my back, never got off the plane. I was on a military hospital ship plane. I never touched a foot in Alaska. Ah. So there's another person, my same name, in Greenville, that owes a lot of people in Alaska a lot of money. And they thought it was me because I was from Greenville. That's how they put it on me. But I think I know who he is, because I think he's used my credit since. But anyway, but that was interesting. How did you get me? And he was in the Army. Wasn't in the Marines at all. He was in the Army. So, but it was great. But we had a great time in the military. It was a great life. To me it was. I enjoyed it. Get up morning, see these guys, go cook for them, talk to them. They'd have a lot to say, especially when they come back off of patrols and come back off of missions, and then their buddies would get killed or get hurt. You'd have to, being a cook, you have to just kind of, flow with it. You have to know. So it worked out pretty well for us.
All right. 1 minute, 30 seconds.
I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you so very, very much for this.
Thank you.